What's happening, everyone? Art at Patience Metal Fab, and I'm out in the shop this morning to start a new episode on the Group B Renault Rally build. Now, if you saw the last one, that was incredibly exciting, watching the full cage go in and get final welds. And today we're going to continue with the progress by getting the owner of the car in here and getting him final fitted for the car. You could think of it as kind of like a bespoke suit. The seat has to fit properly, the steering column, the door is going to go on just to make sure that the driver can fit comfortably in there, and it is really going to be tailored towards him specifically. Now, once we have that all knocked out, we're going to put the fuel cell in, and we're going to have to modify the firewall that we got for the car to be able to fit. Once the firewall is all wrapped up, Max is going to move to the front of the car again and start cutting into it, because he's got to do a couple custom metal pieces in order for the steering column to be able to fit properly now that we have all the final measurements. This is going to be a really exciting episode. Stay tuned and enjoy. I want to take a little pause and give you an update on what Max has been working on. He's a little bit harder to film because he comes in at like 5 in the morning to get a lot of this work done. So I like to pop in here when I get in at around 8:30 and show you some of the progress. So his last few days have been working on the firewall, as you've seen. Now, this was a 2-piece setup, but it was really meant to be a 3-piece. It looks like they welded this seam together from the manufacturer, and that is one way to do it. But the middle portion is a bit of an access panel, so we wanted to keep it separate. So he undid the weld, he put together some new flanges and kind of made it a seamless piece, but at the end of the day, we could take out the center section by just unbolting it to get to the stuff underneath. But I would say this is done. The fuel cell's underneath, it's all bolted on. Next steps are gonna be aligning that harness bar and then putting the seats in so that we can move on to that pedal box placement. Before we could do all that, Max is working away on the front of the car. There's still some gusset work to be done. So right here on these anti-intrusion bars, and then kind of farther up on the firewall area, he's gonna have to put some custom gussets in, which he's working on right now. Once he's done with those gussets, we're gonna put the steering rack in. That way we could do the column, and really we'll be outfitted for the driver with the seat, the pedal box, steering column. We'll know how it fits together, and then we can continue building this thing up. Max has been busy this week working on the steering system for the Renault. So you can see the rack is in just kind of mocked up. We're waiting for some bushing, so we can't do final install quite yet. But what's allowing us to do is be able to set up everything inside. So in an earlier video, which I'll put a link to up top, you can see that we designed this piece here, basically making this an adjustable unit for the driver. How's this going to fit up, Max?
Well, we're going to hook it up to the U-joint right here, and then this will drop onto the dashboard.
What we keep saying is this is a small car and the owner is a large person, so we need to do everything we can to be able to fit him in here. That means getting the seats as low as we can. It means the design on the cage right here for head clearance, and it means this quick release wheel and adjustable steering column. It's been a lot of fun to pop into the shop over the last couple of days and watch Max put this kind of steering pass-through area together. And as you can see, it is mostly done. And what's really cool is once this is all painted, a lot of people aren't even going to be able to tell that this was ever touched. It looks that factory. So Max did a really great job of including these stitch welds here and bending it, contouring it, including flange work that makes it look OEM. And I gotta say, that's the sign of a really great fabricator. Someone that can make something this custom look this good and even go unnoticed by someone that hasn't been watching a video series like this. You can see that Max also took a little bit of time to mock up the seat and the steering wheel. He tacked it in, so this is gonna be pretty much the final design of everything. We're gonna have Brian, the owner of the car, in through one more time for final fitment. That includes the pedal box, so we're gonna be boxing all of that in. You can see it's cut out now. I think that's probably probably the next episode. We'll also be messing around with some of the suspension. We're waiting for Brian to bring in some of the parts that he's gotten in from France, and I think that includes some front end bits as well. So you're going to start seeing this look more like a car now that we've got the major kind of structural components done. So I want to thank you guys for sticking around with the series and making it so popular for us on our page. We really appreciate it. So continue to like these videos, share them around, subscribe to the page if you haven't already, and stay tuned. We've got a lot more on this car coming up.